So previously to this podcast, I made a podcast which was showing Gruad Imina, which is much less seen, of Thai Buddhist water pouring ceremony to dedicate merits. But actually the prayer which I showed with that is used more after evening prayers and will be seen less with the water pouring, as will be seen with Yatha, which is much more the commonly seen practice of water pouring when the Anumotana Ramkatha, the sharing of merits with the dead, the Yatha, Katha, Yatha prayer is chanted. And so it is necessary now for the third podcast in this series. The first was explaining a lot about the ceremony itself and gave this kata, and the second one was showing how to do it with imina, with the kata for imina, punyakamina. And now this third podcast is to show how the much more commonly water pouring ceremony is performed to the kata yatha. And it goes like this, which the water will be poured from a receptacle into a chalice during the time it is chanted, and after which blessing comes called sapitio. So first I will give you both of them. So the water pouring is performed during the chanting of the yatha and should not run out until the end of the chanting. So you have to time the pouring of the water, which is quite difficult. And sometimes it runs out, but anyway, you have to try to make it run the whole time the kata is being chanted. After that, the water is poured and a second kata is usually chanted by the monks and the congregation if they are practicing and keeping precepts in the temple, or if they have just made alms giving to the monks on the street or in the village, then they will just hear the yatha and the sapitio and just hold their hands praying and pour the water. During the sapitio part, the water is not poured. The pouring of the water is only done during the yatha. So firstly kata yatha for the pouring of the water, and then I will announce the second part, which is sapitio, which is what the monks always chant after receiving alms to give blessings to the devotees. So firstly, yatha goes like this. Yatha varivaha pura paripurenti sakarang eva meva ito tinang petanang upakapati ichitang batitang tumhang kipameva samichatu sapphe purentu sankapa janto banaraso yatha manichoti raso yatha. And the water would be finished pouring and close the bottle and take the receptacle of water to be poured on the earth at the roots of a tree. And then the congregation or the monks, depending on the situation, continue with Sapitio vivachantu sapha roko vinatsatu mate pawa vantarayo sukhi thika yuko pawa apivatana silitsanichang uttha pachayino chattaro dhamma vattanti ayuvano sukhang palang. And that would be the giving of blessings for a long life, happiness and good health, and to have all of the requisites and requirements needed, food and money and resources, to have a happy, auspicious life. This second kata, sapitio, is actually repeated a longer way by the monks and sometimes shortened, as was just heard. The long version would go from sapitio up to pawa and then repeat until the third time after pawa would continue with the second verse of apivatana and would go like this. สัพพิติโยวิวาชันตุสัพพะโรโควินัสสตุมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขีทีขายุโคภวสัพพิติโยวิวาชันตุสัพพะโรโควินัสสตุมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขีทีขายุโคภวสัพพิติโยวิวัชชันตุสัพพะโรโควินัสสตุมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขีทีขายุโคภวะอภิวาทนาสีลิสนิจังวุฒาปัจจายโนจัตตารโอธัมมาวัฏันติอายุวันโนสุขังพรัง But for the main katha which I intended to reveal for this podcast to focus on is of course Yatha, which is the most common and usual katha to hear during the water pouring, or to chant yourself if you have no monks and you are practicing on your own. And one more time with Yatha and Sapitio in one go. ยะถาวะริวหาปุราปริปูเรนติสาคารังเอวะเมวะอิโตทินังเบตานังอุปกัปปติอิชิตังบัติตังตุมหังคิปะเมวะสมิจฉตุสัพเพปูเรนตุสังคปาจันโทปะนะระโสยะถามณิโชติระโสยะถา and end the water pouring and continue with final blessing. สัพพิติโยวิวัชชันตุสัพพะโรโควินัสสตุมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขีทีขายุโคภวะสัพพิติโยวิวัชชันตุสัพพะโรโควินัสสตุมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขีทีขายุโคภวะสัพพิติโยวิวัชชันตุสัพพะโรโควินัสสตุมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขีทีขายุโคภวะอภิวาทนาสีลิสานิจังวุฒาปัจจายโนจัตตารโอธัมมาวัฏันติอายุวันโนสุขังพลัง And that was Ajahn Spencer showing the traditional katha chanting for Gruad water pouring ceremony to dedicate merits to dead relatives and ancestors and to pour the water onto the earth. That's Ajahn Spencer for the Buddha Magic Project, signing off.